My name is Eve Irvine, and I'm the police chief at the Torrance Police Department. 3 young men tragically died, and 4 others were injured in a senseless act of violence on January 4th, 2019 at 11:54 p.m. at the Gable House Bowling Alley in the city of Torrance. Our department offers its condolences to the families of those who lost their lives and to those who were injured in this incident. The Torrance Police Department has worked non-stop since this incident occurred. What started out as a small fight turned into a larger fight, which ended up with multiple people engaged in a physical altercation. At some point, an individual who was already inside of the location pulled out a handgun and began shooting into the crowd. Based on witnesses' statements, video, and other investigative tools, the Torrance Police Department was able to identify the suspect responsible for these murders shortly after the incident, and within about 30 hours, with the assistance of our SWAT team, the suspect was taken into custody in the city of Los Angeles. The suspect arrested in this crime is Reginald Wallace. He's a 47-year-old resident from Los Angeles. He's currently being held at the Los Angeles County Jail with no bail. Detectives are continuing to investigate this crime and are asking for assistance from anyone who is at the location who may have video or any other valuable pertinent information to this case. Should you have any further information, please contact the Torrance Police Detective Division at 310-618-5570. We'd like to thank the numerous police agencies and law enforcement institutions, as well as the community as a whole, for their assistance in this matter. I'm now available for questions, but please be advised that this is an ongoing investigation, and there's some questions that I may not be able to answer at this time, as I do not want to compromise the integrity of the investigation.
What is it that led you to Mr. Wallace?
Through video and other investigative tools, without getting too specific on how we got into identifying Mr. Wallace, there was enough evidence and information that led us to Mr. Wallace and an identification of him.
Was there any ties between Mr. Wallace and any of the people who were shot? Did he know them, or was this basically spraying a crowd?
It's unknown whether he knew them or not, the people there. However, he was part of the larger group that was already inside of the bowling alley.
Do we know what the flashpoint was? What started the argument that eventually led to the gunfire?
I'm sure we do. I don't have that at this point.
Can you describe what the murder weapon was and if the shooter reloaded with what?
The murder weapon was a handgun, not a rifle. It was a handgun. There was not a reloading of the handgun.
Caliber?
I'm not going to release that at this point.
Can we talk about his past? If there is anything at all you can tell us?
Yes, there is. Mr. Wallace is currently on parole for assault with a deadly weapon with a firearm. He was released in 2017, and he currently lives in Los Angeles.
So, Chief, can you please go over once again, the fight broke out initially, and where approximately was Mr. Wallace at the time, and then what are you alleging that he did?
A fight broke out in the bowling alley between a couple of people. That eventually grew to several more people. At some point, it grew into multiple people, 10, 15 people, all in a physical fight. At some point, Mr. Wallace pulled out a handgun from his pocket and proceeded to shoot into a crowd.
Was he the only shooter, or were there any other guns found at the scene?
At this point, it appears he is the only shooter.
Talking to Sergeant Harris, there were no murders in Torrance in 2017. Statistics for last year not available. Can you sort of characterize how you're feeling after this tranquility has just been interrupted?
This is, a tragic event, major proportions, and we've never had an incident like this in the city of Torrance. It's tragic. 3 people lost their lives. 4 other people were shot. This is life-changing for so many people.
I'm sorry, did you say what the origins of the handgun were, how he was able to get that handgun? Do you know who owned that handgun?
I'm really not going to get into that at this point. It was a handgun, and it was a single shooter, and he pulled it out of his pocket.
You have recovered the weapon, though.
I'm not going to discuss that at this point.
You mentioned that he fired into the crowd, so he didn't have a target in particular. He just started shooting at random. Is that what it appears to be?
I don't know. From the video, it's hard to tell if he had intentions of who he wished to shoot. I do know that he was shooting into a crowd, and there was a lot going on. There was complete chaos at this time. People were running all over. There were fights still occurring, and when he pulled out the handgun, and the minute people started hearing shots, even more chaos erupted, and people were trying to run out of the bowling alley.
Is he related at all to any of the people that initiated this situation?
I don't know if he's related to anyone at the location.
Chief, have there been any prior instances of trouble at this particular location before, or was this just completely out of the law?
There hasn't been issue there that of this proportion since I think it was 2015, and there was another shooting at the Gable House.
But did they have security present the night the shooting went here? Security cameras, things along those lines?
They do have security camera at the bowling alley, and there were numerous security guards hired by the Gable House management at this event.
Is he a gang member or gang affiliation?
I'm not going to comment on that at this point.
Was his last assault with a deadly weapon incident, was that also in Torrance? Was he arrested by Torrance police? And was he arrested at his home this time, or was he found hiding somewhere? How did you find him?
The assault with a deadly weapon that involved a firearm, which he was currently on parole for, was not a Torrance incident. And he, did you ask where he lives?
Where were you arrested?
We did not arrest him at his home.
Any indication how long had he been in prison, for that he was on parole, say, from 2017? How much time did he do for the previous crime, the previous assault? Any idea?
I don't have that.
This guy a first striker, second striker? What
He's,
do we have?
he was in prison for 17 years
17 years?
and was released in 2017. That is accurate.
There you hear Torrance Police Chief talking about the arrest of 47-year-old Reginald Wallace, who was involved in a shootout at a bowling alley in Torrance during what seemed like a fight.
That's right. This was during Family Friday night. 3 people were shot dead, 4 others shot, and police making quick work of all this, announcing the arrest of Reginald Wallace happening sometime over the weekend. All right, moving on here. Today marks the beginning of a new era in California politics. Gavin Newsom is now our state's 40th governor.
During his inauguration, Governor Newsom took aim at the White House. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan.
Several people have said the flashpoint was a fight between 2 women. Can you elaborate on that?
There was a fight between 2 people, and it turned into a fight between several more people, which turned into a fight with multiple people. He would need to get formally charged, and then our investigation continues, and then the prosecutorial process goes into a full swing.
Are you looking for anyone else?
At this time, we believe we have the sole shooter in this incident.
Can you describe the circumstances when you arrested him, where it was, how you found him? Did he go peacefully?
He went peacefully, but I don't want to discuss how we found him and how we got to him. With the assistance of our SWAT team, he was taken into custody. There was no use of force. There were no problems. Thank you, sir. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you. Yes, there will be a Spanish speaker after. We have a Sergeant Martinez, and it should be just a few moments. Thank you all very, very much for your support.
Thank you very much. That concludes our press conference.